We're on.
You just needed a comfy chair and they look good.
Alrighty. Oh, you know what? I forgot my glasses.
It being 7:03 on the 19th of November, I call this meeting of the Board of Health to order. Absent currently is Robert Greeno and Elizabeth Hickey. All other members are present. On the agenda tonight, we have mixed use. We have two properties of mixed use. 232 Bedford Street. Excuse me. 232 Bedford Street is Mr. Ken DeVal's commercial mixed-use property. There's a single-family detached sitting on the property, and he would like to have trash and recycling pickup for the single family. Mr. DeVal was here 2 weeks ago when we did not have a Board of Health meeting. I told him was not present to have him present for this vote because it is a single-family residence. It's stated right in the account, so I would like to ask a member of the board to
Motion to approve his single-family detached dwelling, allow them to have residential rubbish pickup.
motion to approve a single-family detached dwelling resident property trash pickup. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a first and second. Any other further conversation? None other. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Mr. DeVal can receive a recycle barrel and a trash barrel for his property at 232 Bedford Street.
300.
300.
Excellent.
All right. Second piece of property is at 84 Hancock Street. I'm not familiar with 84 Hancock Street, Sharon.
I can give you a little bit of background. I thought she might come in tonight. It's owned by Cindy and Jack. He used to be the Weckbacker, the retired deputy fire chief.
Okay.
They own a house, but they also have a florist business on the same property. And they're asking if they can also be included, even though it's mixed use, be included with regular trash pickup.
It's a mixed-use piece of property?
Yes. They have a
'cause it's a
florist.
Hutchinson
Yes,
florist?
yes,
But we wouldn't be picking up the florist.
correct.
We'd only be picking up the house in the back.
Their house, yeah.
Their house in the
It's
back.
on the same lot.
Do you know if they had trash pickup before?
I don't know.
I know there's a florist on Hancock Street, and I know there's a house behind it, right behind it, the back. So we're only voting on picking up trash for the house.
Correct, not the florist.
Okay. I am familiar with the property. There is a separate structure, separate behind the florist, that is a residential home. And since we're only picking up the residential home and not picking up the florist, I would request a motion from one of the board members if they're
So this is
approval.
another example of a
Single-family residence
detached.
attached. It is detached, it's not part of the building.
Okay.
I'll motion to allow the Weckbackers to have trash pickup for their residents.
Motion for the single-family residence located in the rear of 84 Hancock Street to receive trash and recycling. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
That second motion and second, any further to say? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, it's voted 300. Is it? I like what you mean.
I was trying to find my agenda. I think it's on my email.
I know. I'm just talking.
Thank you.
It's fine. Okay, on the agenda, besides that, was any and all trash issues. We did get our trash figures for last month.
Yeah, they were up a bit.
I was surprised, yeah, we only saved six tons for the month of October, which was a surprise to me.
I'm surprised too.
And do we have a theory on what it might be?
I have no idea right now.
Well, you asking the board?
Anybody,
or-
yeah, the board. We're open
Didn't
up
we
to the
now
board.
include the condos back in? Would that have anything to do with it? I don't know. I'm just-
Have we added any new condos?
No.
No, we're just picking up the 5 condos, and we are picking them up until December at the current structure, which is the old dumpsters.
Correct, and then as of January 1st, they are getting dumpsters that are equivalent to their unit
Okay,
size.
and I am not
Just the
saying that the dumpsters, are the old dumpsters, so I'm not saying that they're taking advantage of it, but I'm a little, and their numbers are included in the trash budget numbers, correct?
Correct.
So there's no separate of what the condominium's trash would be versus what the town's trash would be. I have requested that Sharon look into getting a separate bill in January for strictly the condominium's trash versus the residential trash pickup, so we can get some sense of how much
Right.
volume of trash is coming out of the condominiums. So going forward, as part of the new extended contract to pick up these 5 condominiums and any other condominium, I've requested that Waste Solutions provide a separate bill for that trash pickup. I think that makes sense for us to get a clue of what type of volume of weight we're picking up at the condominiums.
Some measurements.
Have they agreed?
I don't know if we've approached Waste Solutions.
No, I haven't, because I felt it was a little early. I thought I'd send something out in December.
Don't wait too long,
All
yeah.
right.
Can I ask a question? What was the date range for that tonnage?
Oh, it's usually like around 21 days.
Well, do you remember the dates? I'm wondering if did,
It would have incorporated it would have been the October bill, which would incorporate the heavy rain we did get, but that shouldn't really be any part of it since they're covered toters now. So,
That was the whole point on one of
yeah,
them.
Yeah.
okay.
The only other trash issues that I can see is that when I'm driving down Washington Street on Wednesdays,
Uh-huh.
I do notice that some of the multi-families have trash barrels with covers that are open with trash sticking above them, and I don't see them not being picked up. So now I've gone over to 2 of them and tried to push the cover closed, and the cover closed right away. It just kind of like air filled the bag and didn't close the cover. But I've also gone over to a couple and the bag is sitting on top of all the bags. It's never going to close.
Right.
So I have removed the bag from the barrel, stuck a red sticker on it saying too much trash, and put that bag on the ground. When I came home at night, and that's 14 hours later, the bag is not, and the barrels are gone, so I don't know if the bag went in the barrel or went in the trash. But it would mean the truck driver would have to be out of the truck though to pull it into the truck. So I don't know what happened. Or
Well,
somebody
would-
put it back in the barrel.
Would Waste Solutions let us know if that was happening?
They're supposed to call in violations right now, yes. I hadn't heard of that one as yet, but, yeah, they're supposed to call them in and then they give us a report every day.
So we haven't had any? or-
I haven't, I've had other ones, but I haven't heard of that one.
On Bedford Street, right after the 139 intersection, on the left-hand side, there's a box spring and mattress out there with a bunch of other stuff.
Bedford Street,
It's right after the Chinese food restaurant and the
Asian Kitchen?
Asian Kitchen, and on the left-hand across the street, there's a multi-family dwelling,
Yeah,
and there's trash barrels out there that have been out there for a week, and there's abundant trash beyond the trash barrel and a mattress. It's
okay.
been sitting there for a week. So
And it's across the street from Asian Kitchen.
across the street from Asian Kitchen,
Yeah.
just diagonally across the street, not right directly across the street. It's in a white 2 or 3 family resident that's there. There's a driveway that splits the 2 houses. And I have not seen whether or not that gets picked up or not, but I noticed it was blown down twice over the weekend and got picked back up again and leaned against the trash. But there's also abundant trash around the barrels that shouldn't be picked up either.
I will tell Lorraine to check in on it.
Okay.
So Lorraine is still
Oh,
around?
she's done a great job.
Oh, I know she,
Yeah.
no doubt, but I didn't know how much time she was still
No.
putting into following the trucks.
Yeah. I take the money out of the revolving account.
Okay, yeah, and,
Yeah.
but how about how many hours a week?
15 hours,
15,
yeah.
so, okay.
I I know we have to track that. So
We are. I am.
But I can't speak as one board member, cannot speak highly enough of quality of work that she has done
She's
for
done
us.
an outstanding job.
Outstanding job.
I don't think we're gonna have to worry too much if, I at one point tracked it, that it looks like we're okay unless we have to do one, maybe emptying of the trailers, but at the same time, we're also bringing in money, like I said, the $129 from the previous weekend, which also can surplus what we're taking out. But I don't think I will let you know closer to the budget period of next spring of when we get town meeting if we need to ask for money to supplement it, but I am watching it,
Okay.
yeah.
The other trash issue I had was, that I know we were talking about putting a dumpster up at Groveland Street. Well, it's not a trash issue, it's a metal recycle issue that we talked about. I believe the town manager wanted to put out the bid rather than just have a company drop off a dumpster.
Yeah, you have to put it out to bid, and at one point, he was also talking about putting a couple other containers out there that people could also bring stuff down to. He was gonna look into something maybe starting in the spring.
All right, but, so do we wait until he makes a decision on all of that?
I can write him an email and ask him where he's at with it.
We'd like to know what else he wants to put there, because we're gonna have to go to Mass DEP to put anything else there besides what we already have.
Yeah.
And I think we already got approval from Mass DEP to put the metal collection there, so I'd like to get that in place. The other thing that has to do with the trash issue is Christmas tree pickup, which will be happening in January on the Saturdays of the 12th and the 19th.
So it's on here, right, yeah, I have mine
The
hanging out.
question becomes is, do we grind those Christmas trees or do we pay EMOS to remove them like we did last year? I just want the board to consider that right now, because I think we should make a decision and know what we're gonna do prior to January. So we can contact EMOS to know that they should.
Whatever's cheapest. What's
Yeah,
cheapest?
I was gonna
I'd
say, what's
say
the benefits?
I would say having them taken away.
And we did a really nice job last year, and they did a really nice job last year cleaning them up and getting them out really quick. They were gone in a week.
Well, what would it cost to grind it?
Well over $4,000.
And what does it cost to have them just remove it?
I think
It was like
Wasn't it
400 or
400
something.
$400 a
It was-
container.
yeah.
Well, let's
So-
go with that.
Well, then the grinding pods, you gotta find a company that's willing to use their grinder to grind the trees.
Right.
Because a lot of them don't wanna use it for grinding pine trees, so.
Gunks up
So, now, the one issue we're gonna have up there, because if you haven't been up there lately, they've done some.
I haven't been up there.
Ken did a nice job with what he did up there, but the Christmas trees now are gonna have to go behind on the left-hand side.
Okay, yeah.
And so, what we end up doing is right on the edge of the tower, put the dumpsters there, and pound the Christmas trees in there. And so, it's still a little more inconvenient for us, but a little more inconvenient for them, but it's still accessible on tar.
Yeah, we're not in there in January.
Yeah. So just hope we don't get, if we don't get the snow, we'll
As
be
long as we
fine.
don't get buried.
Yeah, so, speaking of that, I would like to know if we can ask the town to plow, if we have to plow for those 2 weekends, those 2 Saturdays. If we have to have plows, can we have the town do it? If not, can we hire a contractor on our own, or do we have to go out to bid on that to get a contractor? And I have several gentlemen in the town who have pickup trucks who said for gas money, they would be willing to put a plow in there just to give us a road in and a road out. So I just need to know what we need to do about that.
Just a question, why wouldn't the town do it?
It falls on a Saturday, and then most town workers are not here on a Saturday,
Gotcha.
so if the snowstorm came on a Friday night, there'd be no one here to do that.
And it's
I think
it's
either way,
overtime
we
on a
probably have to
Saturday.
pay for it though.
It's not that we don't have to pay for it, but it's just a matter of, do I have to go out to bid in order to get a local resident willing to, with a pickup truck, willing to go in and plow on a Saturday morning
Right, for gas money.
for
Just
gas
for
money?
gas
As
money.
opposed to time and a half, a highway.
Right.
I'd love to give them time and a half, don't get me wrong.
I'd love to give a little more than gas
Yeah,
money,
no.
but, you know, I'm not pushing it, but I'm looking for, and I found 2 guys who said they'd do it for gas money, so.
Very resourceful.
Well, we're trying to be, so.
That's good.
I just need to know what we can and can't do. And so I think we need to send a letter to EOMS and just request a bid again for them to take away the Christmas trees, if they would be so kind. And let's get it on the books so we know what we have to pay, so we know what we're getting into. And the sooner the better, as far as I'm concerned.
And when do you want them to come pick them up?
I think the following the 19th, so anytime after the 22nd, Monday the 22nd, whatever day they wanted to come get them, they would have to make arrangements through you to open the gate, or someone to open the gate to,
Yeah, Monday the 21st.
so,
This
21st.
is Monday the.
I'm sorry, Monday the 21st, that's right. So anytime that week would be fine,
Okay,
and we'd be looking to have all the trees removed,
yeah,
and for whatever rate they're gonna charge us,
okay.
okay?
I have one thing with trash, if that's okay.
I'm not done yet, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I just want to, maybe in the next meeting, sometime in December, to look over the draft that I sent out
trash
of
regs.
the trash regs,
We need to
since
get
we
that
are
certified,
adding back
so-
in the condos, which I
Okay.
did add back in here, but we need to get these on board before January 1st.
Mary, could you put on the agenda for the first meeting in December, trash regs? And if anyone needs a copy, to have them contact you when you send out the agenda. If not, we should all have a copy of the most recent draft of the trash regs that was sent to us about 5 weeks, 6 weeks ago. And so just send out the agenda. When you mail the agenda out, ask any member if they need a copy of the drafted regulations for trash, please. Thank you.
It's a possibility I may have to check.
The only other thing, which is sort of a segue, is Lorraine was interested in asking if we could possibly, it would cost roughly probably $200, anywhere from $99 to $200, but to look into getting a trail camera and then some signs for the compost site, because we've had such issues with people loading the front gate. And basically, if we were able to implement any of the catching of them, it would probably pay for itself because there is a fine involved.
Yeah.
And she did, I can pass that around, do a little research on cost, but it would be getting a few signs, which wouldn't probably cost that much. It's a camera that would be anywhere from, I guess, $99 to $200, but it would be a very good deterrent.
Again, the issue for me is where to replace the camera.
She was saying, I don't know if she wrote it down, but there was a tree, well, I don't know if we should, that you could, that's right near the gate, that would be able to point.
It would only get one side, not the other, that's the problem. So we need to have it up both ways. So
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
And who's gonna man it?
Well,
It's not a man, it's a unmanned camera. It's only, it's a camera for like, when you're hunting animals, you put them out in the woods and they take pictures of animals as they pass the tree. You just get a view. It only takes a snapshot when action occurs, when you interfere with the infrared ray, and it would take the picture. So if somebody pulled up with their truck, it would take a picture of the truck, and when the person stepped out to throw stuff, it would take a picture of the person throwing stuff. And so you'd put it up in it, like where the two metal curvatures of the entrance to the thing is, there's two signs, two poles that have two signs that say, dumping's illegal, $1,000 fine. And then behind them, there's some trees, and we could mount them up in the trees and have them point down.
Yeah, the only concern we had was vandalism.
Right, and we'd have to get it up high enough so that people couldn't reach up and do something.
Is it something you would mind us looking into, though, getting
Oh,
some
I-
price?
I think it's a
Actually,
great
Bobby and I
idea.
have already looked into it.
Okay.
I was looking for solar power, so we wouldn't have to deal with batteries, because you have to change the batteries up, and in the cold, you have to change the batteries up frequently.
Right?
Because the cold eats up your
It
batteries,
does.
as opposed to the warm.
No, it's been discussed a few times over the
Okay.
years.
Well, we've
And
done a
yes,
little research.
the more research and
Yeah.
if we can make it happen, it would be worth it. But the biggest concern was investing the money and then having vandalism.
Yeah, vandalism's been the biggest issue, but,
Yeah.
Well,
If
wouldn't
we
you
could-
see the person reaching out and then it'd be on camera?
well, no, what you do is, I would even think of, getting a 20-foot pole and, mounting it about 10 feet beyond the gate behind the barrier and just digging a hole, putting
I
the
think that's
ground.
an excellent
And
idea.
then just sticking up the pole and have it face down so that you're getting a good angle at the car bumper, because you're trying to get the plate numbers, what you're trying to
So
do.
what you're saying is the only way they could get access if they got over the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's-
And the other
yeah.
thing is, we could ask people to be respectful and not do that consistently, I think.
We have
We have signs like
4
crazy here,
signs
Margie.
on both
and it
borders. We have a
doesn't-
sign on the
yeah.
fence, and yet I was up there Saturday and there was 16 bags right in front of the gate.
Yeah,
And they were all
there's plenty
plastic.
of
They weren't in
signs.
paper, they were all plastic.
That's even more
And it
frustrating.
stinks, and my truck smelled like a pig pen. I had to go out
What
there.
did you do with
I
them?
pick them in my truck and pull them
Yes, put them in
in.
his truck.
Every other week I go up and try to do that so they don't have to get burdened with all the frickin' bags. If it was up to me, I'd put a 16-foot fence up right by the street, the hell of them all, let them throw it in the woods or whatever, but, even then, they'd throw them over the fence. If you only put a 6-foot fence, they'd throw them over the fence. You have to put a wall up in order for them to respect it, which is sad. It's a great idea,
I'm all for it. If
I'm
we
all
can
for
find
it. We can look into
way.
it, but I think we need to go.
Yeah, I think.
I like the
English
pole
would be
idea.
preferable.
And the pole's cheap.
Keep
You can do it.
keep that
you can do a
juice
PVC
going.
pole.
Maybe we'll come up with a solution.
Yeah. So, speaking of the Groveland Street site, the other thing is that we do have a nice clean pile of turned, screened loom.
Wow.
I would like to have the Board of Health purchase a 30 by 70 tarp to cover it, so we don't get weeds growing all over it before the weeds would start growing.
Well, we're just spending money tonight, aren't we?
Well,
How much is the top?
it's anywhere from,
And it would come out of the,
Well, I would try to take it out of equipment. I'm trying to preserve the revolving fund for Lorraine. I'd take it out of an equipment account or something like
it's
that.
1 to 150, you know, something like that, a blue tarp. And then
And
Ken said he can get some tires for us to cover it so that it won't blow all over the
And the
place.
benefit
Because it would
is,
be considered
The
equipment.
citizens,
you know.
when you come up in the spring, it wouldn't be looking at a field of weeds on top
Right.
of there. It would just be covered in blue. And you can lift the cover back as people were taking it off.
and
and then people can
That makes
utilize
sense.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It keeps it clean.
Pays
We went through, you know, $12,000 or $13,000 to do all this work.
Yeah, no, it's,
This makes sense to me.
it does make sense.
So I'd like a motion for the board to approve the purchase of a 30 by 70 or whatever size top we need to cover it.
Are you gonna get the tar?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna
All
get
right,
the
so
top.
what, we make a motion for you
Then
to
I'll cover
purchase
it.
a tarp?
Yeah.
Do we want to go with those measurements, or we want to leave it open in case that isn't the exact?
I may go with doubles to see whatever price gets a better price. If one big one covers it versus 2 small ones, or if I get 2 smaller ones, I may buy the 2 small ones to get a little bigger size and save the money. So, you know,
So are we
whatever,
looking for a dollar amount, cap? or-
no more than $150.
How about no more than 200?
Okay, no more than 200, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll give you, all right, motion to approve the purchase of a tarp.
Or tarps,
Or tarps not to exceed
$200.
$200
Yeah.
for covering the screened loom at the compost site.
So I have a motion to purchase a tarp or tarps to cover the screen loom. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Wow, I love a second. So we have a motion second. Is there anything further to say? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. That's the Groveland Street site. Again, I just want to speak out that Kenny did a really nice job up there. If you do have time, take a drive by. It's open for this Saturday and next Saturday. It really, I know there's a lot of tree garbage and stuff like that, and I put out 13 barrels on Saturday, on last Wednesday.
Oh my God, we had
Of
about
leaves and stuff
22.
like that. And my neighbor put out 112 bags.
Yeah, we had quite a bit, yeah. We,
So
Wow.
we took a lot of stuff in from Orange Street. Orange Street, all but 2 homes, and they were all both the multifamily homes, put out waste.
So
I mean,
Waste
put out-
Solutions
put out-
picked it
The
up and
leaves.
took it
Put
down to
out
our
leaves,
compost site?
yeah.
oh, we had just an unbelievable, it was
Yeah.
just,
And Pat Carter from Bayberry
believe it.
Road brought 175 bags on
How
Saturday.
do you get that many bags?
when you have all these
Trees
leaves,
and
it's like, don't
So-
forget I just moved,
I
so
know.
I'm like,
Welcome.
Okay, so that's the Groveland Street site. Health agents report.
Well,
go Sharon.
I finished November's inspections today.
How good was
I'm
it?
I'm starting December's. And, I don't know if there's, I was gonna give you some, there isn't really anything, that I need to go over, in the particular restaurants or the housing. I did wanna give you some updates, because we haven't had a meeting for so long. We did do flu clinics back on October 22nd. We vaccinated 145 residents.
Yeah,
There were 170 doses altogether, and we're having residents call and make appointments at the senior center on Mondays for any, the remaining doses that we have. As you probably saw from the emails that I guess were kind of funky that went out Friday, we received word on Friday that DEP had awarded the grants to different towns, and Abington received $2,349 for education materials for curbside recycling program, $3,803 for school recycling equipment, and $61,074 in reimbursement for the wheeled recycling carts. And this was based on the Mass DEP Sustainable Materials Recovery Program SMRF grant that I applied for and submitted in June.
Smurf.
we had.
Thank you.
We had brought up,
Welcome.
the possibility of having that $61,000 put back into our,
Yeah, I'm gonna email I want to notify you of this first, and then I was gonna write an email of that.
we're
So-
gonna put that back
Town
in.
manager, that we could request that it's going to be put back into the trash fund.
Oh, yeah.
Put the board on copy.
Put the vote on copy.
Oh, I copy everything you.
But because we paid for this out of our trash fund, I'd like to put
Right.
at least the $62,000 or $61,000 back in the trash fund. Now, the $3,000 for school education,
Mhm. That's, I applied for that to do with getting equipment for helping them do recycling in the lunchrooms and other areas in the schools.
okay, so will that go into a unique fund to do that, or would that, we put that back into a trash fund?
No, that's totally targeted for that specific purpose.
And the $2,000 for,
That's for like if we need to buy anything such as what was just sent out, or other things that might be useful in letting residents know, anything to do with curbside recycling or recycling in general.
okay, so we have that also.
Correct.
So if we
But
want,
they have to be, there's certain parameters that you have to.
if the Board of Health wanted to do a mailing,
Yes,
we could do a mailing with
Yes.
that money.
If it
yes,
had to do with recycling.
yeah.
We'll have to do it
Yeah.
recycling, but I think that's a really good idea. I think something we could think about in the future is possibly, I don't know, we don't need to let the
It's
citizens
to
know
pay
that
for the
spring
cost and
is
the
coming.
materials and such like that.
That's a really good idea. So the flu clinic, we had 145 vaccines, we had 170 doses. We're
Correct.
giving it out on Mondays at the senior center when they're available.
Yes,
That's it for the flu clinics, though, right?
correct, yes.
So if anyone else calls you after those are gone, you tell them to go to the CVS or whatever, and or go to the
Yes,
doctor.
we haven't had many calls. I think what happens is people usually have a certain range of time that they look into getting a flu shot, and this is sort of a little bit, getting sort of beyond that time.
Okay.
But, yeah. The only other thing I wanted to just bring up is the Department of Public Health has looked into starting a public health district, which would enhance service through possibly environmental health work and also public health nursing. And they just wanted me to ask if would be one person from the board to sign this letter, just saying that the town of Abington Board of Health is supporting looking into a public health district.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll support that.
And I put it on our letterhead just to have you see it.
All right, so this is gonna be something we're gonna put into
It's a
special
project?
town meeting?
No, it's just something that is being looked into of how many towns, wait 1 second. How many towns in Massachusetts might support looking into doing a district?
So that a nurse would be shared throughout. So,
Certain areas, and also possibly health agents be shared too, or other people be able to be hired
so,
through grants.
yeah, so I want to just be cautious. So does that mean that we pay our tax money and then we have you and our public health nurse, now we're going to be sharing you?
I don't know exactly
See,
how,
I'm a little
I don't know
cautious
how
of that.
exactly,
Because it almost sounds like we're going to have a centralized public health nurse and agent for many districts.
well, I don't think that,
Well, I would just like to
Yeah.
request more clarification before we sign it.
Plus, this is
here.
it's supposed to have a date in it?
And the town, Board of Health, recognizes one of the public
So this is the detail of what
Yes,
this is?
yeah.
So can you, since we're on TV, can you explain to the townspeople what a public health district would be?
It's more of a sharing of being able to have a coverage, I would say, for towns that might not be able to have coverage right now completely, and that they would share, either having a nurse that would, as Margie said, maybe cover 2 or 3 towns, or,
Yeah, but but our
So this-
tax money,
So it's like, I forget what it's called, it's, oh my God, isn't that terrible, when, like,
It's like regional services in a way.
like when Rockland ambulance comes into Abington, because we're a bit mutual, what's it called,
Mutual aid.
So it's a mutual aid type of thing?
I believe so.
I
have no
think
problem.
I think it goes beyond that, it's because like the Catholic Church is looking to set up multiple parishes that support each other. So they're called clustering. So they're gonna cluster, like in Abington, Whitman, and Rockland, the three parishes, the Catholic parishes are gonna cluster together. They've already done this. And we're sharing the cost of paying for the priests that service both Holy Ghost, Holy Family, and St. Bridget's. So it's a shared mutual cost. Each parish pays a portion of the reverend's salary. Each town holds its own services, but they share expense because they people, the church, the priests travel to serve masses and stuff like that. So if we're going to do a health district, I would assume the towns would share the cost of that.
I believe that probably the startup piece would be based on grants that would be issued by the state.
yeah, but then that would one out.
Then
and
you have
then
to try to sustain the
when we would
cost.
have to, as taxpayers, sustain it, and it looks like it's supplemental. I don't know, I'd have to look into that, I don't know if I support that at all.
Well, I think, are they just doing the study right now?
They're doing the
And they're
study to
looking
see
for a
how many
volunteer from this?
No, not even that, just to
No,
see
they're
if
looking for
towns are at
support.
all interested.
The town of Abington's interested in looking into it, but we're not
Committee.
committing to it. So,
Because right now, we do it. So
Draft-
when you go on
draft is-
vacation, you
I
can,
know, that's,
yeah, but draft it with the name of the town and the
Date.
date on it and stuff like that, and I'll come in and sign it,
oh, okay.
okay?
You know,
As long as we're just agreeing to look into it,
Project
I'll do that. So if
Okay,
you could
that's
just,
all it is right now.
just have Mary redo this, and put the name of the
Yeah.
town and put the date in, I'll come in and sign it,
Okay,
okay?
that's all I had.
That's all you have?
I believe so right now.
Okay, so
Comp
the
time?
food inspection's going well?
Yes, like I said, I finished November's, I'm starting December's, yeah.
Marty had a question on comp time?
No, it's on here. under
That's what she's
updates.
earned?
6 hours.
Oh, I see.
That was.
that's what you get it down to?
Yeah, and that was
Excellent.
including last week's 3 hours from the town meeting.
Oh, excellent.
Thank you.
We
And then
appreciate that.
45 minutes waiting for a quorum. And health inspections are going pretty well?
Yes,
No major problems?
no.
So are they getting used to you now?
Oh, I'd say so. Yeah, I'd say so. I think that there's been a lot of improvement since this began 2.5 years ago, because people know that I come back, and a lot of it's education, and yeah, I think they have. I think there's always a few that you're gonna have to kind of watchdog, but yes, I think it's been a tremendous curve that has happened. I know that there's a couple, I recently opened, I don't know if you saw Tastefully Done, the new restaurant that is down on Brockton Avenue. There's a Linda's Consignment Shop. It used to be Emma's Kitchen or something at one
Yeah.
point. So that has recently been opened.
I did see that.
I'm just trying to think of this. I know Morel's is in the process, which is great, of renovating their building.
I saw them finally working there.
Yeah.
They've done a lot of work in such a short time.
There's, I've had a couple people come in and talk about perhaps opening up restaurants, but I haven't seen any plans or permits come by my desk yet, but yeah. And all the applications for the renewals of licenses have gone out, and one other piece of news is Abington Woods, which is one of the two places I do the swimming pools, has recently been sold to a new company, and I'm actually going down there tomorrow because I have to give them a new inspection, since there'll be a new permit for it, because it's a new license, because they sold the property that the license was under before. So that's new. But I don't know if you were here when I did include with the food permits this year for specifically food establishments, the employee illness log, when an employee is sick, what the employers fill out. This is particularly for communicable diseases. The list of communicable diseases that are concerned with foodborne illness and work. The instructions on, as far as washings and sanitizing and the temperatures needed for sanitizing, and also the definitions of what a temporary food permit means versus catering versus your regular establishment permit. And they all went out in a package this year, just to cover a lot of educational pieces.
To
Every food establishment.
Every food
Not
establishment.
retail, but food establishments, yeah.
Okay, anything else? Yes,
Since we're talking about food inspections, have we looked into, because I'd like to take the Safe Serve.
Serve safe.
Serve Safe.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah, I thought it would be good for a couple.
Well, I did send out, if you remember, a few months ago or weeks ago, the
The
dates of when some were available.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. They
I
come
missed
up
it. I missed
periodically, yeah. Same with, at some point, we really need to get on board with the ICS and NIMS training.
We keep forgetting about that. Those are the LinkedIn
Yes, so that's
classes
sent-
that you've sent the
yeah,
links to, because
yeah.
I lost mine originally.
I'll check my email.
Okay. We have no vouchers.
No, because we
We have any
signed.
minutes you want to go over?
I wasn't here for this, so I don't know if you two could do it, because I wasn't here.
Oh, no, we didn't.
You need
It
first.
was, yeah, sorry.
So we can't do the minutes. Any old and new business, Mark?
Yes, I got like 4 things.
Yo!
Quickly. One is,
Turn the paper
you,
over.
Need the minutes.
oh, I'm sorry. One was, the first thing was Christine Hickey. We had talked about quite some time ago to recognize her flowers or some type of recognition. Did that ever happen?
I sent an email to Nancy Hurst at the time you asked me to look into trying to get a citation, not citation, what is the?
Commendation or
Yeah,
something?
from the select board. I never heard anything back.
Well, actually, I did hear something on that,
Okay.
because I checked with Dory, and she did get something mailed, but I think it should be something should be presented, or she should be recognized at a selectmen's meeting, so we're gonna see about at least getting it mentioned at the next selectmen's meeting.
Okay.
But she did
How
get-
do we, like?
We didn't do it, it came from the select.
Okay, so
The town recognizing her service.
they did that.
Yes.
They said something with the minutes.
Okay.
Was
I
it
just want to
based-
get, I just want to get something in camera for her.
Right. I
Was
was
it based on the email that I sent Nancy of why it was done? Do you know? I don't know, okay.
I don't know. what it was
No, I
based
followed up with Dory, because it's one of those things that you
If-
keep thinking about.
If they are going to put it
Yeah.
on their
It's
agenda,
important.
I just
It
need to
is.
know, because I'm going to buy her flowers.
Well, I never heard anything back.
Well, no,
Can
I'm
we
saying
move
now, if they're going to put it on their
forward?
agenda,
Check with Dory, because I talked to her at town meeting, special
Okay.
town meeting.
The next thing is, this is a question really, but I think it's a public safety issue. Do we have who does the street lines? The Department of Transportation, do we have some?
street lines?
Yeah, like the yellow, double yellow lines.
Depends what street it is. If it's a
All right.
state highway, it's a state. If it's a town
Old
highway.
Randolph to Thicket has not had any markings for several years. It is a dangerous curve. I've lived in that area for many years. I still travel down there. It's very much a danger issue. And I want to know why we don't have any and how we can get that, brought up. If this is a selectman thing, I don't
No,
know.
I think it's a highway department thing. You have to write to Kenan. It's Keenan or Kenan?
Kenan.
Kenan.
Can we make that, because I'm concerned about it.
What I can
From a
do is
public
I
safety
can
issue.
send you his email.
So the board wouldn't do it, I would have
I
to do it
don't
personally?
think it's really,
No, actually, I would go through the selectmen.
No, it's a public safety issue
Only
for this
because
town, and
the
it
town
needs to be
manager is the
addressed.
one who's gonna, he is the,
When I first joined the board and I was trying to get a slow sign on Abington, I did it on my own. I didn't go through the board because the board thought it wasn't a Board of Health issue. It was a residential
Has
issue.
anyone driven down that street? It's a safety issue, and, you know, it's not for me personally,
No,
so I'm not
saying
gonna do
it's for you.
that.
No, I'm not saying it's for you. All I'm saying is, as you as a resident can bring up any issue you want to any other town service in the town. You know, so if the question becomes is why are there no lines on Thicket and Randolph Street?
Yeah,
It's just a simple email to Kenan to say, why are there no lines on Thicket and Email Street?
Okay.
And/or send it to the selectmen saying, as a public citizen concerned with the safety of the citizens of the town.
I don't have these emails.
I
so-
can send them to you.
Yeah, but I'm concerned as a Board of Health member. I think it's a public safety issue, and I don't understand why it hasn't been addressed. The next thing I have is, when have we allowed llamas in Abington?
Since the town selectmen keep them.
It's one of them, it's
Farm
considered,
animals?
it's one of the farm.
It's
it
not an
falls-
exotic animal?
No, it falls under farm animals.
What are we farming with them?
And no, actually,
How is the
no, there's not one llama in town.
There's a
at least
couple.
3 I know of.
Yeah.
They are considered a farm animal. Their
That's
fur is
crazy.
used. They get shaved and their fur gets shipped out, and
It's like wool.
it's wool, yeah.
They get
And
shaved
both-
twice a year.
Yeah, the both locations that I know of are both considered farm or agricultural, depends.
How you want to word it. It's like chickens, it's like everything else.
Yep.
I
They're,
think,
they're permanent.
They're good at keeping your lawn real trim, too.
well, I saw them and I thought I was seeing double. I'm like, excuse me, since when are we allowing exotic animals in the town?
We don't consider lumber a dog animal, that's the problem. It's just a regular farm.
I've never seen one on a farm before. I don't know.
New Hampshire's.
If you go down to the Fox,
I've seen 'em on-
Randolph, Rainham Racetrack, as you're going towards 495, on the left-hand side, there's a huge llama farm there. There's about 50 there,
Yeah.
on the left-hand side.
I only saw them on Ernie Bach's property before, that's about it. The last thing is this special municipal employee exemption request. So I wanted to address this the last time before the town meeting. Are we doing this as a board? The letter that I got said, you know,
They were
well,
meant to us individually.
right, I know that, but it's saying, you know, you
but
can
that-
ask your
that-
board.
That petition was voted down at the town meeting, I believe.
So we don't have to worry about it then?
Terry, I believe it was
I
voted
do.
down at the town, it was voted down at the town meeting.
No, I thought they were
That
two.
didn't go into existence.
I'm thinking, it
Good.
didn't one go into one is still around and another isn't?
Because we got letters from not more than the town and,
No, I think,
Right. So.
I wanted to get clarification from the selectmen on this. Oh, okay.
Did you guys send it in? I mean, I was
No, I
gonna-
haven't sent it in either.
I went to the town meeting and they voted it down. They
Okay,
voted
so
not
we're
to
all set.
implement it, so.
Good. Okay, good.
And all they were looking for was that if you fell under a special municipal employee, you had to go in and file a permit in order to appear in front of another board on the behalf of another citizen of the town or another client. I believe that did not pass,
Didn't pass. That was Article 17.
yes.
Yeah, and I was gonna bring the,
So I don't think you have to worry about it.
Good.
You're already covered
Waste
under the
of
state.
paper.
There's a state policy on this already. There's an ethics on this already in the state, so you don't have to worry about that.
Good.
That's my personal opinion.
Well, I appreciate that. I just want to be following, you know.
No, I'm not moving on that since I was at the town meeting. I was one of the 151 people present at the time we voted on it.
was that how many we had when we voted?
I think we had 151, yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Whole new business, Teresa.
I have a question on when you get a call and someone says that someone's yard is they're hoarding in their yard. Does that give you license to check the house as well?
No. Inside?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so if you got the complaint on the outside and you went and you saw that that was in fact true, that would not give you...
If I saw something on the inside while I was like maybe at the door that brought me concern, I might look into it. But I would never access a house if they didn't let me, and I wouldn't, I would just basically look at the outside of the house. And then, but if I saw something that alarmed me, I might have to look into it further, but I wouldn't just go into the
Correct me
house.
if I'm wrong, but most of the time it's the police or fire that are called to the house or
And
ambulance.
then they call me.
And then they call you once
Yes.
they're in the house.
Correct.
That's how we get in the house.
Usually yes, exactly. It's because based on I get called in because they already are there.
That happened recently. didn't it?
Yes, yeah. That's it.
I have no old new business. Do you have anything else?
No, I think I covered everything I had.
Okay. Are there any other issues we need to cover to this evening? Are there any other issues you want covered at the next meeting, anybody?
Anything I know of right now?
Anything?
The only two things I would say is which we already did, the trash rags, and I do think we should have a date of trying to get these NIMS and ICS completed. Even if it's 3 months from now, I think we should have a deadline, because it's a mandatory deliverable for our emergency preparedness.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's very nice at chastising us, isn't she?
So, what, you know what would be helpful, because I forget, is to put it in an email every week. Count down.
No, don't make me do that.
Count down. You got 1 week left. 5 days left.
4, 3, 2, 1.
I think if we set a deadline,
Okay.
it would help. Hi, Henry.
Let me say before I close the meeting, Henry, do you have anything you want to
Well, I was just raised the issue at the Board of Selectmen's meeting.
Henry DiCarlo, everyone?
Oh, I'm sorry. And I raised the issue about the delay, the holiday trash pickup, and the fact that we have barrels all over town on every street, and how, and the town manager did make the point that we were mailed home a flyer, and we should have looked to see which holiday it is, and if it's a real holiday or not a real holiday. But my position was that we should keep it simple, unless there's some major advantage to this. We should keep it simple. If it's a Monday holiday, everything flows back Monday. Everybody's trained
No,
to.
I find it offensive that Veterans Day is not considered a holiday in this town.
Yeah,
I find it very offensive.
and unless there was some big savings in the contract or something like that, it didn't seem to make much of an impression when I was at the Board of Selectmen's meeting a few minutes ago, but I thought and I mentioned to them I was gonna bring it to
You
your
said,
board.
you said to put it back in.
Yeah, I mentioned to them that I was coming over here to talk to you, to mention to you too.
No, we originally
understand.
wanted Veterans Day to stay in, and
Yeah.
somehow it got taken out, and I find it
I mean,
offensive.
for people that stop and think, okay, is this the one, isn't it, let me go look it up. I mean, people are trained for Monday holidays. And I thought it was just my street until I drove around town.
Oh, no,
Like
no,
it- yeah.
we had a lot of people.
Ron, yes.
If it's any consolation, we forgot too. Me and my
And
husband.
drive around any street in town.
Yeah.
So I
I
think
didn't, and I was very offended.
I think it's good that we're all 6 days early.
6 days early.
Yeah, okay, I'm glad you think that way. Anyhow, I don't know, as a board, I think it's contractual that they put this in the contract.
Which is why I brought it to the selectmen.
And I don't know if the selectmen can give us any direction on what we can do about that going forward. But I would certainly say this board, upon the new contract, would want to go back to include Veterans Day as our holiday.
Try to keep it
Yes.
as simple as possible. Monday
No,
holidays.
we have people fighting in a war zone. This is not time to de-holiday Veterans Day, I'm sorry.
There's never a time to.
No, it isn't, but especially silly.
So anyway, I knew that you were of an opinion on it. But I thought I'd bring it to your attention.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Anybody else in the audience have any comments for the board?
I'm not allowed to because I wasn't granted special municipal. So I can't talk, I can't.
We could ask the selectmen what that is.
Excuse me?
We were told that that was voted down.
It's like my records.
I believe your board was not granted.
No.
See, it is something different. So it wasn't what we voted on at town meeting.
No.
That was like a step.
That is something different.
Well, yeah,
I
it was
thought so.
kind of different.
Oh, sorry.
I have been misinformed.
Well, we're gonna correct that.
So you're telling me that you still have to fill out that form?
Yes.
It's two different things.
You do?
Yeah, you can request it still. You can
Well,
do it
you're
anytime.
Wait,
only requesting
okay.
it because you have to, or are you only requesting because you need to? I'm a little
You
lost.
said you In the past, you were granted, is this on the agenda, or would we like to talk about
It was
Old
part of
new
old and new
business.
business.
The form said you were previously granted special municipal status, and if you wanted to retain it, please respond back.
That's not what mine says.
So I
Mine has a special employee exemption
you-
request.
Okay.
I'm not an employee.
The
Well,
cover,
you are employee, actually. You're any elected official. The letter
I'm
says
an
that.
elected, yeah, but, okay, so we fill these out, now it's late. Who does it go to?
Back to the town manager, I believe it goes to the town manager.
You folks, if you can go and request it, or we can bring it up in another meeting.
So when it comes to this is the one where the board or the committee decides if they want to have the special
That's
municipal
why I
employee
brought it
exemption.
up.
This special municipal status is granted to the position. So if one person on your board really fought and requested for it, you would probably take that into consideration. Everybody, once you grant one member, the whole board gets it. You got to catch my drift.
and this would allow you to speak in front of another board in town without being in conflict.
Right,
If you were,
Boy Scout leader.
or, asking for permit for the,
Anything, field rental, anything.
the garden,
Right.
what am I trying to?
and
Farmer's
it
market,
suggested
farmer's
that
market.
if you're part of a board,
You
that your
would-
board take it up.
If you don't have that
and-
status, you potentially are in violation when you represent another group going in front of the town, if you don't have this special municipal employee status.
So I'm
So-
filling mine out, even though it's late, because I was unclear what my obligation was.
Okay.
So I can slip it under the town manager's
I-
door, is that?
Okay,
I didn't.
I didn't fill
completely-
mine out. I didn't really
I also,
understand that requirement.
through the chair, I
Yes.
also, I just realized that safety committee won't know this,
No?
so you may want to bring that up at the next meeting.
Meaning what?
They may not be on the list that you have, but we haven't, I don't think we've discussed it in the meeting, because you're supposed to discuss it as a board or a committee, right?
Right,
Well, you can,
Yeah.
individually and as a board of committee.
Yeah. So, yeah, I did get an email from Susan, so we'll probably
But they weren't on the
discuss
list
it.
of committees that the selectmen reviewed.
That
So,
request,
so all
right.
that means is that you're still special, because you were probably at one point granted special municipal, as most boards were. I'm not positive of that.
We're very special.
So,
Okay.
if
so-
I can just clarify what you said.
Yes.
As of right now, today, no
Yes.
member of the Board of Health is considered a specialized, whatever that's
Special
called,
municipal employee.
That's
special
correct.
municipal employee.
no, you have to
And
request it.
therefore, if I was to go in front of the selectmen to
Mhm.
request a field day for the St. Bridget's, I'd be in violation,
Yes,
Yes.
because I can't do that as a member of the Board of Health,
right,
as a town employee, unless I get this.
right.
Can I give you an example that was raised by myself?
Yes, please.
As a selectman, I'm not entitled to special municipal employee status
At all.
at all. I fill out the forms for the Lions Club as the secretary of the Lions Club, and I actually present them to your Board of Health agent.
So you're in
For a
conflict.
trailer, I can no longer do that
Yes.
without being in violation. Now, whether I will continue to do it or not is another thing, because, it's the intent of the law versus the reality of the law. There's so many people in town, we all know this, we talked about it in pretty great length there, but it's a tough thing to do, because everybody wears so many hats around town. And that's why we kind of granted it to a lot of committees that asked for it.
So if
So
he
we
went
wanna-
up, if he went up to the selectmen and say, Bob Manning, I'm the chairman of the Board of Health, for the record, I'm here representing the Cub Scouts, that wouldn't cover him?
No,
So,
You're in conflict with your role in the town unless you've been granted that special.
So I just have the assistant scoutmaster do it.
Exactly.
okay, well, I'm passing mine in.
All right, or if
No,
the board has
it's just-
granted it, then
it's
you're
just a
allowed to do
form.
it. You may still have to disclose, but you're allowed to do it.
what's the downside?
I always thought I thought it was covered under,
The selectmen, our policy is to grant it to as few boards. We want everybody in town, if they're elected, appointed, to serve one master of the town. That's basically, although I,
Serve
what?
one master.
The attorney's language.
So that's, what does one master mean?
only
Your-
serving
One-
the Board of Health,
one
not serving
board.
the town.
Your interest is to represent the town most
So you
primarily.
can't, so you can't be on more than one board, is that what you're
That's not
saying?
what I'm saying.
No.
We'll say it a
Sort
little
of.
better then.
Saying is
kinda what
if
they're
you come
saying.
before, if you're serving as a Board of Health member,
Right.
you're working for the Board of Health and for the town. Give me a good example, Henry, to use.
Well,
You just
it would
gave-
apply often to the paid kinds of jobs. If you're a realtor that's trying to get a development in town, and you serve on a board, and now you're over there fighting for that development, are you working as the town employee or in your private capacity and the conflict? And the theory is
Yeah.
that people should, if they're in an official position in the town should be the primary interest, you know, and this grants them the ability to do that because, and especially in smaller towns where you have so many volunteers.
Right.
I mean, as I said at town meeting, you know, people I serve on the library board are on every committee, volunteer group, or whatever. I always have been for all the years I've served.
Did you
there.
fill this out?
Yes.
Where did you put it?
We sent it to the town manager.
Where is his office? Can somebody
You know,
tell
the hall?
me?
Yeah.
All right, I'm passing mine in, thank you.
Thank you for that clarification, I'm glad we got that straightened up.
I will
See,
tell
aren't you
you,
glad that I
it's not
brought
really a
up all the
clarification
business?
because it's still money, and we have one of our board members that recused himself because it's a very cloudy issue.
Okay.
Involves a lot of family members in town and relatives.
I have nothing else, does anybody else have anything else?
No.
Have a motion to close, sorry. Long little son of a gun, man.
So you gotta put a new tape in?
Just
the-
to say
Close the
that.
meeting.
But we're on.
You can write it down.
I could do that too,
Motion to rescind.
but- Motion to close the meeting, can I have a motion to close the
Motion
meeting?
to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn the meeting, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion second, anything further to say?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
8:01.
8:01 meeting closed.